So the question says, how many times greater is the intensity of sound from a concert speaker at a distance of 1 meter than the intensity at a distance of 200 meters? Now suppose the intensity at a certain distance is I1 and the intensity at a certain distance is I2. And it turns out that I1 over I2 is 20 over 10. So what we can do is cancel the zeros. So we have I1 over I2 is 2 over 1. We can cross multiply. So this is what cross multiplication looks like. So I1 times 1 is equal to 2 times I2, which is the same as I1 equals I2. Now when I say I1 equals I2, let me read it as a sentence. It says the intensity at a certain distance, which is denoted as 1, is equal to twice the intensity at a certain distance denoted by 2. So what we need to do is exactly the same thing here. But let's start off by looking at the inverse square law. The inverse square law says that the intensity of the sound is inversely proportional to the square of the distance of the speaker. So what that means is that as the distance increases, obviously the square of the distance also increases, the sound, the intensity of the sound decreases. That's what inverse proportionality means. So we can use the same inverse square law at a different distance. Let's say this is at distance of 1 meter and this is a distance of 20 meters or 200 meters. So this is equal to K over D2 squared. So what we need is the ratio I1 over I2. So let's look at the ratio. I1 is the same as K over D1 squared. I2 is K over D2 squared. Now we need to simplify this. So that's I1 over I2 is equal to K over D1 squared. So we are doing basically simple division of fractions. So that's, we are dividing two fractions. K over D1 squared is divided by K over D2 squared. So when we do division of fractions, this is how it works. K over D1 squared. We change division to multiplication, but then immediately what we need to do is flip the fraction to get D2 squared over K. So we flip the fraction to the right of the division symbol. So now the K's, the constants, K is a constant, that gets cancelled. And I1 over I2 is equal to D2 squared over D1 squared. Now I1 over I2 is equal to D1 squared, which is equal to or D2 squared, which is equal to 200 square, and then the meters also gets squared, but that gets cancelled, divided by D1 squared, which is 1 squared meters squared. So this is equal to I1 over I2, which is equal to so 200 square is 40,000. The meters get cancelled. So I1 over I2 is 40,000 divided by 1. When we cross multiply, I1 is equal to 40,000 times I2, and I read it as a sentence, it basically means that the intensity at a distance of 1 meter is 40,000 times the intensity at a distance of 200 meters.